Historically and still currently, doctors use BMI, which is body mass index, as a measure of overall general health and exposure to certain risk factors. Now, a lot of people will argue that BMI is out of date. I'm here to argue potentially that it's not, and I'm going to talk to you in this video about why that is. Let's do this. Hi there, if it's your first time to the channel, welcome. My name's Adam Arif from Beyond Educated. If you're looking to improve your overall health, become more productive and improve your well-being, why not subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media to avoid missing out on any of the videos that I post weekly. So does BMI actually matter? Well, BMI does matter, and I'll explain why it does and what the flaws and pitfalls are with it. So firstly, what is BMI? Well, BMI is your body mass index, and according to this, it's a measure that I mentioned of your height and your weight, and working out really whether your weight is healthy. And these are the different categories: so underweight, normal weight, overweight, or obese. Now, a lot of people will argue that those individuals that carry more muscle mass or are heavier will have a skewed BMI. That is that they may not be fat, so they may not carry a lot of abdominal fat or even internal fat around the organs or in the arteries, but they may have more muscle and actually be low body fat, and therefore aren't subject to the categorizations that they would place within BMI. Now, that's an interesting argument, and one of the things that we'll agree with on that is to say, well, perhaps, yeah, your risks aren't as high because you are fitter, you might be more healthier because you actively take part in exercise and that's why your body fat's low. But there are certain risks associated with being bigger in general, and that is having a bigger frame, particularly if you look at some bodybuilders or people that have large amounts of muscle, rugby players and things these days, NFL football players. They are exposed to certain risks that a higher BMI would attribute them to have. So you calculate your BMI here by doing your weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters squared, and mine is 27.4. There's no doubt about it, at the minute I'm probably overweight. Overweight in the sense from a muscle mass point of view, but overweight in the sense that I'm carrying more fat. What does that mean for me that it means for other people that are overweight? Well, ultimately it increases your cardiovascular risk for me that's got more fat. But there's other things in here, such as osteoarthritis. Does it increase your risk of diabetes? Absolutely. Does it increase the pressure on your bones, on your joints, by your frame carrying more mass? And as such, there's more risk of these osteoarthritic type diseases that you could have. Certain types of cancer and all these different things. Eating more foods, putting your liver under more stress, because you need to eat more food to get bigger. So you are exposed to these different risks that a lot of people might think, well, actually, I'm just muscly, I'm not fat, and therefore it's not an issue for me. Ultimately, you don't necessarily need to take this individual measure on its own, but you need to use it and categorize that in amongst another series of risk factors, your training and your diet, and determine actually overall, when I take all these factors into consideration, what is my goal and what are my risks. And BMI is an absolutely fantastic measure to do that and gauge where roughly you should be. So I'd love to get your thoughts on what you think. What's your BMI? Post it below if you can work it out. I'll put a link down in the description about where you can work it out. And have you ever used BMI? Has the doctor ever quoted your BMI? And do you think it's a load of nonsense, or do you think it's actually got a lot of solid sound fact to it? So there you go, guys. I hope you found this useful. Remember, as ever, guys, stay educated.